Today's episode is brought to you by Gustafson and Sons Towing, located at 29 Davis Road in Milanville, Pennsylvania. Gustafson and Sons Towing can handle a variety of services that you may need. Aside from 24-hour towing, they also handle winch outs, long hauls, shed moving, small or medium storage container moving, lockouts, jump starts, emergency roadside fuel delivery, and roadside emergency tire repairs. Got a junk car that you want removed? He'll buy that too and get it off your property. Go ahead and check him out over on Facebook at Gustafson and Sons Towing, on TikTok at Gustafson Sons Towing, or give him a call at 570-280-5890. If your car needs a ride but your wallet doesn't, call Gustafson and Sons Towing, 570-280-5890. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the NDT Sports podcast. Next to me is my good buddy, Chris. Well, we will spend approximately the next hour discussing things that make us most miserable. And we will also dive into questions and give you the real answers. Like if I was to ask you what's brown and rhymes with Snoop, I would give you the real answer, Dr. Dre. Chris, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm good. You?
Tommy, welcome to the show.
Bad Tommy poo-poo stain.
That's okay. Yeah, our buddy Tommy, you've disappeared for us for a second there, so I want to make sure you had some time to get back in. We are here to spend the next hour talking about sports, disappointments, all that good, happy horse shit. Tommy's got his weekly parlay for us, so we'll have him do that live with us tonight as well. So, Chris, I'm going to turn the reins over to you and let you run with the train tonight.
You do this all the time now.
It's nice having a co-host that likes to run.
I don't understand this. Where you want to start tonight, though? You want to start with football or baseball?
Sir, you are batting leadoff.
I'm asking you the question, sir.
No hablo inglés.
No hablo inglés. Well, I think baseball is going to take us a lot longer than football.
True story.
So, we'll go through last week's pick'ems and what a terrible week it was for all of us. Justin came in last this week with a 5-9 record. Aaron came in second with a 6-8, and I took first at 7-7. When you take first at 500, it's never a good week. Bringing our year-end totals to 32-27 for Aaron, 24-20 for Justin, and 29-30 for me. Tough.
I'm disappointed. I should have taken the Patriots over the Bills, and I struggled with that. I thought for sure that there was going to be a bit of a struggle there in my head, and goddamn if it wasn't right. And I almost took the Titans to win too, and I should have pulled the trigger on that one.
It was a tough week trying to make those picks this past week.
Yeah,
well,
a lot of upsets.
The Titans really won by a fluke. There was the interception that Cam worked through, and then Tyler Lockett punched it out. They end up scoring, stopped the Cardinals in 3 plays, and then went to their kicker for the game winner. So that was kind of a fluke. But when it comes to picking games, it's picking between your heart and where you want to feel for the weekend, because that's how you cap off your week, and then where your brain may feel. So it's really hard to separate those two.
It's difficult.
I mean, isn't that the same game that the running back also just let the ball go at the 1-yard line?
He had a 70-yard run, and it was poked out right at the end. His head coach was fined $100,000, I believe.
Yeah. For yelling at him or something like that.
It was a pretty intense conversation. He did end up apologizing. Heat of the moment happens, but that's a pretty big fine, $100,000. if you could imagine getting fined for maybe overreacting during a situation. I know your cameras are on you, but
Did I lose sound?
You might have lost sound. I hear
Can you hear
Tommy
me?
just fine. We can hear you.
yeah. But Aaron, could you imagine if you were fined $100 every time maybe you lost your cool?
I'd be okay with it.
It might
I don't
make,
lose. I'm pretty level. It's going to sound
Cool.
weird, but I'm pretty level-headed for the most part.
One sec.
I have my moments. I feel like I'm pretty docile, but then I do lose my, my emotions from time to time.
When I
Usually
do,
it's self-inflicted.
yes, and when I lose my mind, I lose my mind, and it's well worth $100. So,
Fair enough.
yeah. So you have do you have your parlay pick for this week? We'll before he comes back, we'll rip that off real quick and go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, all right. So absolutely. So usually I do have a little bit of a script, as you know. I like to come with a little bit of humor, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like I told you today, they got away from me. 6:30 came. I'm like, all right, let's put this together. So I'm gonna run with it regardless of whatever I do on Sunday. All right, so let's go target game number 1. We're gonna go with the Cowboys and Panthers. The weather, mid-80s. No weather concerns. I wanted to avoid the weather. I know there's a lot of weather that's coming up the East Coast this weekend. So we are looking at the Cowboys money line. I have all this written down. I think the Cowboys are at minus 175. Panthers came off a pretty good win. Rico Dottle. And then the Cowboys, I've done really good picking with the Cowboys this year. Likely because my son is a Cowboys fan. I feel like I have to immerse myself in all that data and kind of talk ball with him. So I'm taking the Cowboys, the money line here. It's not a great number, but I have confidence in Dak. I know they're down wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb is still questionable, but he did not practice as of yet. I don't think he's going to play. I got faith in the Cowboys pulling this one out on the road. No weather concerns. However, now I did talk about this a couple weeks ago, is having a direct correlation between maybe because I always try to pick the side or the total or the spread and then come back something that goes with an anytime touchdown receptions. I went against that grain. Rico Dottle, former Cowboys running back, they ran him into the ground last year. He had a phenomenal season with a horrible offensive line last year. Goes to the Panthers, second string Chuba Hubbard, who is out with an injury. He had over 200 yards last week, was targeted in the backfield. I love this revenge. Hey, you let me go. You weren't really that interested in me. He is at an anytime touchdown minus 105. Every week I talk about opportunities. How much are you getting targeted? Not only in the backfield, but also in the passing game. Last week, for his first start of the season, he had 3 catches on 4 targets for 28 yards. He also had a majority, I would say almost 90% of all the carries with the Panthers. He's going to get the rock. And I think there's that motivation to show, hey, this is what you're missing out on. Minus 105, not bad. Now, I've said this before years ago, FanDuel, they made these anytime touchdown numbers really juicy. But now that they have us hooked, the numbers are a little bit different. He's the workhorse there right now. As long as, there's no one else behind him that's going to take any kind of running opportunities. Bryce Young can run, but majority of the carries are going to come from Rico Dottle. Target game number 2. And this was a little bit of a tough one. Because I do limit myself to the 1 o'clock games. I've always said I just want to know where I'm at. I have my fun for the 1 to 4 o'clock. 1 to 4, I have all my fun. Then I kind of just calm down and try to enjoy whatever the rest of the day comes my way. I really just stress myself out completely. I fry myself out. I try not to look at any of my fantasy stuff until the 1 o'clock games are done. It's bad. It's. I feel bad for anyone who's around me. But I targeted the Seattle and the Jaguars game. Both teams are coming off really impressive wins. Seattle went against Tampa in a high-scoring game. Sam Darnold former Jet, former Panther, former 49er.
Or a lot of everything.
He had a really solid game, and he really has enjoyed having a number one target with JSN there from Ohio State. Second-year kid, all the target. They have confidence in to let him throw the ball. Believe it or not, Sam Darnold's been in the league for almost ever, it seems like, and he's still relatively young when he comes to quarterback ages. He was a very young quarterback drafted to the Jets. He went to a horrible situation there. And then we have the Jags, who a lot of people that I follow, that was the fun pick to take, the Jags over the Chiefs. And they end up getting the win. Again, just like you spoke about in the pre-show, the Ravens being down, it's kind of like a down Chiefs. Or they're still trying to figure it out. Maybe they hope they can kind of sneak their way in, and they'll probably end up winning the division. But it's not as certain as it used to be. Jags end up getting the win. So I went here. Now this line opened up Jaguars -1.5. And I think some of that was because they beat the Chiefs, that name recognition. They beat the Chiefs. And then almost immediately, that line's become a pick 'em. So it's moved about 1.5 points. I took the Seahawks at -110. I just feel like they are on the road. By the way, the weather for Jacksonville, perfect. I think we're looking at mid-70s here. No rain, no concerns there. I'm going to go with Sam Darnold and how he's been playing. I'm still not really sure on the identity of Jacksonville. They have Travis Etienne back there, but they have that really good rookie who is also there. Brian Thomas, their rookie from last year, has been, I don't want to say non-existent, but he's not getting the ball a ton. I just don't know the exact identity of the Jaguars yet. They did have that big statement when beating the Chiefs on, I believe, was it Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going with Seattle. Their defense has played really well. I think actually in fantasy football, they're like top 5 scoring defense. So I'm trying to correlate that to, the Vegas side of things. Like, how do they both connect together? I'm leaning right now. It's -110. It's not a bad gig. Now this was tough. I would try to find now the side, that second bet of that leg right there. I was dying to take Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown. I think it was about +310. And my theory was you got to be due. At some point, you got to be due. He's had 2 games this season with 9 targets, I believe. I think it was the Steelers they may have played. I'm doing this by memory. He was kind of non-existent. I just didn't want that high risk. Now, I've done this before where I've talked about Theo Johnson, Jackson Dart, these anytime touchdowns, these higher +300 or more, and they end up hitting. Actually, anytime I've mentioned an anytime touchdown that's been more than +300 that I was interested in, it never took because I'm just trying to get a W. They end up hitting. So you can mark that down in your book. Cooper Kupp, and there's also, I think it's Hunter Long. He is the tight end for Jacksonville, who's replacing Brenton Strange, former Penn State tight end. He's out for a while. There were the 2 targets I looked at. To me, it was a little more risk than I want. I just want a W. So I went with Zach Charbonnet, 30 yards or more. In all the games this season besides one, he's had well over 30. He is splitting the carries with Kenneth Walker. It's almost 50-50. If it's not 50-50, it's like 55-40, 45. I was actually kind of impressed to see that they're really splitting the backfield here. He also has 3 touchdowns on the season. I think that he actually may have like 3 in the last 2 games, or it's like 3 in the last 4. I looked at the anytime touchdown for that, but I was, again, trying to get a W here. I think that number is around, and Aaron, I will send you the final data on this because, again, usually I'm all scripted. I have a notepad here that I scribbled down as fast as I could. The number is, I think, around -145. If he's getting that many carries, let's say he gets 10 carries, which he's been averaging, 3 yards a carry, thinking he might break one off. Jacksonville's giving up about 100 yards per game to rushing, which is about in the middle of the league. Not impressive, but also not too shabby. Going back to the Seattle game here, taking Seattle money line, 58% of the bets, but 80% of the money, the public money, is backing Seattle. So they got a little over half the bets, but there's money there saying to push that number, say, hey, there's a lot of people that are very confident in Seattle. And obviously just avoiding the weather concern. Target game number 3. Again, obviously, since I'm limiting myself to what I can do, we're going to target the New England Patriots at the New Orleans Saints. This is a Justin Bong game, so the weather does not matter. It does not matter whatsoever. Both teams had massive wins. Obviously, New England over the Buffalo Bills. New Orleans got their first win of the season. Is that line sort of inflated in some way for New England because they got the win? The spread is currently at minus 3.5. I think it might be a little inflated for New England. I don't know how much respect is there in New Orleans. I know they have Spencer Rattler, played at Arizona. He was a good college quarterback, and probably one of the better high school quarterbacks that came out of that state in a very long time. Obviously, that doesn't really much for like developmental, but he's had a lot of success through his career. I decided to do an alt line minus 2.5. Let's get over that field goal. This seems like a game that it could be just, hey, game-winning field goal at the end. The minus 2.5 line is at minus 145 for the week as of right now. These lines will change. I just feel like this game is it might be ugly. And I feel like New England's better coach. I mentioned the pre-show that I'm a Mike Vrabel guy. He's going to make this guy just play hard. They came off the win, but I think getting under that 3.5 line is just going to benefit us to hopefully get into the victory circle. 78% of the bets and 75% of the money agree with this, stating that New England is the better play at 3.5. So with now being 2.5, I'm kind of the money and the bets are kind of lining up where minus 2.5 should hit. Now for the for the next part of that, for my 6 leg here, I took Hunter Henry anytime touchdowns at plus 180. When Hunter Henry is involved in the game plan, he gets targets. When he doesn't, he doesn't. What do we have here? New Orleans has given up the second most touchdowns to tight ends on the season with 4. I feel that with that being said, there's a good shot for Hunter Henry to get into the end zone, especially at that number for a tight end who is not considered a top 10 tight end. Plus 180, it feels like it just tells me that there's a good opportunity for Hunter Henry to get in the end zone. Again, obviously there's no weather concerns being in the dome here. So with all that being said, putting all this together, before any kind of odds boost, I do feel the odds boost will probably not, they may not go away. I think the 50% odds boost will probably go away. You're probably going to look at the 10 to 20%. 20% does seem more realistic depending on where you shop. Like if you bounce around, I've been using recently Fanatics. I feel like their numbers have been a little bit more reasonable compared to the other books that I've looked at. And again, I believe there's 8 books in the state of Pennsylvania you can use. So if you shop around and depending on how much you bet on whatever platform, you will get better odds boost. You will get better, no, it really depends. And it all depends on when you hit it. If you hit it at the beginning of the week, the numbers are, one number. You wait till the last second, you get a different number. So, but at plus 34.34, a standard $5 bet It's going to pay $176.70. That won't change your life, but it definitely could put a couple couple tanks of gas in your car. If you can get up to a 50% odds boost, you're looking at plus 52.01, and that pay 265.05. Again, this was a very last second thing I put together. I did look at some numbers, and I did look at where the money is coming in. That's not always an indication of who's going to win, who's not going to win. There are more. So like what all of us use, 99.9% of us use are the public books, the DraftKings, the Fanatics, the FanDuel. Are some overseas books or more respected books, Circa out of Vegas and Pinnacle, which is overseas. They don't limit you. If you're willing to put $10,000 on a game, you want to put $50,000. It doesn't matter. They'll take whatever money they can get. DraftKings will limit you, and historically, if you become successful on those platforms, they will limit you to what you can bet. I've seen this happen several times where people have been successful on those more public books, and let's say you've been hammering them for money. They'll limit you instead of, hey, maybe it's your standard $100, $200 bet. They'll say you can only bet $3.10. They don't want that kind of action. They want our action. They don't want the person who is more considered a professional. So I always try to look at like books like Circa and Pinnacle to see where their numbers are at and try to gauge that with my bets. I did not have an opportunity to look at them tonight, but I would like to hopefully over the next couple of days just kind of see like where their numbers differ. That I feel like those books you can get a better indication of like where this money is going, and like sometimes you can catch them, on the more public books. So yeah, with that being said, if you can walk away with between $180 to $250 in that range, it's not a bad gig. Again, it's an entertainment tax. Keeps you busy from 1 to 4, and then you can coast through the rest of the weekend. Yeah, that's what I got for right now. If something does change, I definitely want to sit down more. It's a busy weekend. I got Robus tomorrow night with the boy, and then we are going to Penn State for homecoming on Saturday morning.
Oh, nice.
I could say that I will be non-existent in the world. I will be on a magic carpet ride. The lots open up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure my girlfriend, nope, she's gone, so she doesn't need to hear this. But the lots open at 8, games at 3:30. We're going to be tailgating. I'll be there in the lot at 8:01, parked up and ready to go. But that's sometimes when my brain functions on a different level. When I need a little downtime, I'll sit there and look up some numbers and kind of see where things are at. But if something changes, Aaron or Chris or Justin, I'll just send you something. Say, hey, this is what I'm kind of feeling right now. But the numbers do change. And also the injury reports, will start. You'll really know by Friday, like who's playing, who's not. That's the hardest part. Is you're kind of guessing. Like I talked about CeeDee Lamb earlier. Like he's still questionable. He doesn't practice. He's not playing, but he still has on Fanatics. They have him at plus 110 for anytime touchdown. I don't know why you would take him right now when he hasn't practiced, but every indication says that he's going to be out again. So, and that's what the hard part about doing these bets early. It's just a lot of guessing, and that's why I always include the weather report, because it might be an over game. And now Vegas is way ahead of us. They're looking at weather reports because if a game is at 52.5 and we're looking at a monsoon or a snow game, they're going to get that number down as quick as possible because they don't want someone who's sharp come in and say, hey, there's snow coming in. We're going to hammer that under for as much money as they can. They're trying to limit their liability.
Yep. Well, good stuff. Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate your insight. I have a very, very exciting thing sitting in front of me right now that was just delivered. Chris, you know me. What's my favorite snack at Christmas time?
I don't know.
The Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes.
I was going to say.
Oh, they're legendary.
This is legendary. A 4.5-foot high inflatable Christmas tree cake. Yes. Fresh, delivered to me. I cannot wait to plug this son of a bitch in.
Braden found it at Walmart.
Use it as my nightlight. Yes.
I was gonna say that might be like a little snuggle partner there, but hey, they're legendary. I don't eat those anymore. I get my calories other way. But
So good.
yeah,
So
guys, no,
good.
this was fun. I enjoy doing this. This is a little outside of my comfort zone. But
Push those limits, bro.
I'm gonna probably hop in your little chat because when you guys talk about baseball, I feel like I have a lot I want to interject here.
Well, you can hop right back on for baseball then.
You could stay with us. You could jump out.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to do, my guy. You don't have to leave.
I mean, my son is quiet right now, so life is good.
So you're here as long as you want to be. If you got a dip, just say, "Hey guys, I got to bounce," and you're good. You can stay with us. We'll
Hey,
hit the
I mean,
baseball
if
stuff.
you're
and-
welcome to happen me, I would love to talk a little ball.
Absolutely. We'll let the antagonizer over here start the baseball discussion because clearly we're still wearing the Blue Jays hat.
You know, it is what it is, but we should probably do our pick'ems here first for week 6.
Let's do the football. Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Let's finish the football. This game's already in progress, but the Eagles-Giants, what do you got?
I'm taking the Eagles, unfortunately. I have to.
These are straight up picks, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
No. Yep.
I know my brain is so hammered to the over these spreads. I was never like this until I really got caught on doing this. So I'll let you guys go forward, and I'll nod my head or shake my head no.
Can I switch my pick right now because the Giants are up 7-3?
Nope.
Who scored?
Jackson Dart, 19-yard touchdown rush.
Do you know? In my write-up, I said it was plus 345. That kid can run, and it's a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
And the following week, his number was like plus 185 in that range. I missed that opportunity for massive money, especially with that Theo Johnson touchdown. If that happens again, you can find me at a very dark location.
I'm lost right now because I got the baseball over on my right side. I got football over on my left side. Baseball game's at 1-1, end of 7 right now.
I have the giant Christmas tree plugged in. This thing actually has the little giggle berries on it.
Oh my God, Aaron, you're like a little kid right now.
I didn't plug it in.
Aaron, can I tell you something about Christmas real quick?
Yeah, buddy.
Real quick, you get back to your picks. When I grew up, didn't have a lot of money. Actually, no money. I always wanted a train around my tree. That's something I've always wanted. And I said, like, hey, whenever I get the opportunity, I know I'm 40 years old now. The opportunity has now come where I can afford and justify in my head to spend an okay amount of money on getting a tree. So, like, I've always loved Christmas. I love when the lights are on the tree, all the other lights are off in the house. It's one of the most relaxing things for me. I don't know what it is. For something like me that can bring me down, it's beyond peaceful. But I cannot wait. And I will show you when I get my train on my tree, around my tree. So that just reminded me of that. Like, hey, in the next month, I'm going to be getting that launched and ready to go.
This your first time doing the train around the tree?
I've seen people have it before, and I've always wanted it, but I'm in a position this year where I can justify spending, whatever the money is, make it special for me, but also for my son. But I've always wanted that.
Do it. You'll love it. I have one. I love it. It's like a staple.
So that just made me think of that, even though you have a little Debbie tree there, but that just reminded me. I've been talking about that for 3 months now.
Got to do it. I don't know why this thing is plugged in. I'm going to kill this kid. But anyway. All right, Chris. What's game 2?
Broncos at the Jets.
Broncos, hands down.
Yeah, I'm going Broncos also on this one. Then we've got the Cardinals at the Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on that one too and go with the Colts.
Do you know who the backup quarterback is for Arizona?
Mm-mm.
Kyler Murray's likely not going to play with his injury right now. He's not been practicing, so that's why the line is at where it is. I think it's at 7.5 right now, but I know this is just a pick 'em, but I don't know who the backup quarterback is. But
I forgot that Kyler was hurt.
I have him in our fantasy league for the NDT podcast listeners league, and it's not been pretty. I mean, Chris's team is outscoring everybody. So
Who's?
Yours.
Yeah, but I'm 2-3.
What I tell everybody about fantasy football, you can go to the dance single.
Yeah.
It's okay going to get the dance. That's all that matters.
Fantasy football is a coin toss. You can get outscored any week and be the most consistent team because it's all about individuals.
Get to the dance and you can take the money home. You can take the hottest girl home. Just get to the dance.
Jacoby Brissett is the answer.
Whoever that is.
Ex-Patriot.
A lot of things. Ex-Colt. He's been around. I would call him a very serviceable.
Yeah. He can fill in for a couple games and be good. Oh, I didn't realize Trey Benson was on the IR also. Jesus.
Well, they're doing running back by committee. They have the one running back with a 70-yard touchdown who fumbled. They have Michael Carter, who they brought up from the practice squad. They also brought up Bam Knight from the practice squad, who was formerly with the Lions. It's going to be a hot hand.
Mm-hmm. Chargers at the Dolphins.
Chargers.
I mean, I want to go Dolphins so bad.
So do I, and this is one of those weird ones, but I think it's going to be the Chargers.
I just think with the Chargers losing 2 straight.
Well, their injuries are starting to catch up to them, yeah.
They don't have an offensive line.
Beat up.
Yeah.
And I don't think losing Najee Harris was big. Now losing Amarian Hampton, like now you're down to running back 3. It's Hackins. The first name starts with an NH. He played at Michigan under Harbaugh. He's going to get the first rip of the opportunities to carry. So Harbaugh definitely will trust him just from being that Michigan connection. I've always been a believer in Mike McDaniel. I know it sounds crazy saying that now. They've given a chain. They have some weapons there. Can they put it all together? So to me, that's a coin toss.
Oh, Hashan Hoskins.
Yes.
Okay. And Vidal is the backup they're going with.
He was one of the hottest commodities when he was drafted to the Chargers in the fantasy football world. They were like, he's the next guy up. Everybody overdrafted him. He barely saw the field. But continue on.
Patriots at the Saints.
I hate this game so much. I'm going to go Patriots.
So far, none of our picks have changed. I'm going Patriots also. Maybe this is where we can get one going.
Yep,
Browns at the Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers.
All righty. I'm taking the Browns.
Really?
I'm taking the Browns. I like that defense. I think the Steelers' offense is shaky at times. And I think that Browns' defense can keep them in there. Dylan Gabriel, another rookie quarterback with a lot to prove in that division. I'm going Browns.
Okay.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
What's that?
I just want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
Jaylen Warren did not play last week. He is questionable right now. I think he'll be coming back. I am a believer in the Aaron Rodgers FU tour. I don't think there's much time left for him. However, that Browns defense, when they come to play, and they should be motivated. This is a massive matchup for them. It's a rival game. Would I be shocked if the Browns won by like 2? No. But would I be shocked if the Steelers won by 15? No. I was looking today. Now, Dylan Gabriel played pretty well for a rookie quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, even though they're still deciding between him and Bailey Zappi for the number 2, they're not going to put Sanders on the practice squad. I was thinking about picking up in a deeper dynasty league, Shedeur Sanders. He has a different X factor about him. I'm not saying he's great, but he has a different X factor with all the pressure that's been around him. I know he's been kind of gifted into things, but that's just something I'm watching.
I agree. But yeah, I'm gonna go Browns on this one. This will be our first difference between all 3 of us for the week.
Oh wow.
Cowboys and Panthers. I'm going Cowboys here.
I'm gonna go Carolina.
Okay.
How does that game go for you, Aaron? Like, what are you feeling? Like, is it going to be a Rico Dotto revenge game, or is it going to just be who makes the least of the mistakes?
This is going to be my gut feeling game because there's another one that's going to be harder for me, but I'm going with the Panthers. They're in Carolina. I do not like Dallas. I don't like picking them. Just a spiteful pick for me.
Justin also went Cowboys on that one also. Seahawks. Pardon me. Seahawks at Jaguars. This to me is the game of the week.
I'm going to go Seahawks just the way they're turning it around.
I'm going Jaguars.
They're home. I know the Jags are home, but I'm going to go Seahawks. They're starting to put it together all the way around.
I just need to learn the Jaguars' identity before I really start backing them.
At a 4-1 team that everyone keeps doubting, they keep finding a way to win. I doubted them the first couple weeks of the season. Here they are sitting at 4-1, and they're just doing something. I'm going to roll with them.
I'm for it.
Now, I don't disagree with the Seahawks pick. They're coming off a big loss last week. But I don't know.
Did they lose to Tampa? I know it was 38-35.
Yep, they lost to Tampa last week.
Yep.
Tampa's good, though. I've always been a Baker fan.
Yeah.
When I talked about Shedeur Sanders with the X Factor, Baker is the X Factor.
Yep, 100%. Rams at the Ravens.
Oh, I'm taking the Rams all day long.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Rams all day.
Until they turn their shit around.
Lamar's still questionable, but he hasn't been practicing. With that hamstring, I think the writing's on the wall. The division is relatively weak, but I don't think they're going to rush him back.
No reason to. This is an interesting one. Titans at the Raiders.
This is the other game I'm having a problem with because they're both 1-4. They both suck. They're in Vegas. I'm gonna flip the coin and I'm gonna say Tennessee. Tails for Tennessee.
Coaching. Brian Callahan could be fired at any point. I think he might be the leader in the house when it comes to who gets fired first. You have Pete Carroll. I know he's a little behind the time. It's not good in Tennessee. One of my closest friends is a Tennessee fan. I get more insight about that team than probably any other team out there outside of my own that I follow. It's not good. They won by a fluke. Tennessee has no weapons anywhere.
I'm going Raiders. I just think Pete Carroll, Geno Smith has to show up for one game. If he's going to show up for one game, it's got to be this one.
Brock Bowers likely will not play. So it'll be Michael Meyer getting the targets.
Trey Tucker. Yeah, Trey Tucker will probably be getting the targets also. Giants are up 14-3 now.
I can't wait to read the play-by-play, like what is going on. I talked to somebody tonight, and I said, like, if you can control the Giants' front 4 or 5, because I know they rotate in Adul Carter, the Giants are going to be frisky all season.
35-yard touchdown pass to Wan'Dale Robinson. I can't right now. Bengals at the Packers.
Go Pack, go.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think much else needs to be said.
Well, was there any influence with Joe Flacco coming in, or is that just like you're going from one egg to the next?
You're going from one to the next.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Joe Flacco get a couple of days under his belt before I start saying he's gonna do anything. Of course, now watch him go off and throw for 5 touchdowns, but
I couldn't believe they went out and they were looking for a quarterback and they landed at Joe Flacco. With Jameis Winston out there, I understand that maybe they wanted more draft capital. But if you're trying to save your season, you go with a proven vet who honestly is just collecting a check right now.
Should have gotten Russell Wilson.
I think that might be a little harder to deal. I don't know if him being such a long-term vet. I don't know if there's any kind of trade issues there.
The offensive line is still the offensive line for Cincinnati. Joe Flacco's not a mobile quarterback. This isn't a good fit.
Mm-mm.
It's probably just as bad, if not worse. He may not just make as many bonehead decisions, but he's a sitting duck.
Exactly. 49ers at the Buccaneers.
This is a tough game, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
I'm taking Tampa Bay also.
Yeah,
their offense is just a little bit better than the 49ers right now. Although I love everything that the Niners are doing right now.
Kittle, I will tell you, as a 49ers fan, we are the most fraudulent 4-1 team. That is fraudulent. We lost to the Jags, who obviously have played pretty well. And I talk about, I don't know their identity yet. The 49ers are fraudulent. Brock Purdy has not practiced. His toe's not recovering. He has a shoulder injury. Kittle is rumored to come back. Mac Jones has his own knee injury, leg injury. There's just too much. And when you have an alpha like Baker Mayfield there, even though without Mike Evans, the kid, and I know his name, but I just can't say it, from Ohio State.
Abuka, whatever.
I mean, he's so good. No, it has to be the Buccaneers. If the 49ers can win this game, it's a Robert Saleh called game where he calls the game of his life.
Right.
And we minimize the big plays from Baker.
If you can. We got Sunday Night Football, Lions at the Chiefs. I'm flying with the Lions. Staying with that hot hand.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to make up some ground. I'm going to say they're in Kansas City. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Okay.
How many times can the Chiefs really lose? I know they're down compared to last year's, but like it's in Kansas City. They know it's a huge game. Do you have the Taylor Swift connection here? Where does she show up? I know she has not been seen because they've been hiding her for whatever reason. I mean, she did come up with that song named Wood. I mean, if I was ever so lucky to have a song about me called Wood. You know what? Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown. Sunday Night Football, anytime touchdown.
I just
lay down the wood.
You got that two-headed monster at running back that's hard to stop. They're just a high-powered offense to a weaker defense.
I just don't see the Chiefs being this bad for this long. They're scary. They're going to turn it around at some point.
Coaching, Andy Reid is
a genius.
He has to be like, I'm going to say top 5, but like what he's been able to do. And actually, what is this, week 6 or week 5?
Week 6.
So this is the last week for Rashid Rice to be out.
Yep.
There's something about Sunday Night Football prime time. It all makes sense. It's not the right pick. It's a feel.
Right. Bills at the Falcons.
I'm taking Buffalo. I'm not going to bet against them. Am I nervous? Yes. We played a shitty ball game last week. We should have won that game 10 times over. But no, I'm taking Buffalo. They're going to clean it up. Defense is shaky.
I'm going to take the Falcons on this one.
Good.
I don't trust Penix, but I trust Bijan Robinson more. And that
I trust Josh Allen more.
That run defense for the Bills is one of the worst in the league this year.
Well, the problem wasn't the run defense this past week. It was the fucking pass defense that just got ran over.
It's bad.
They turned the ball over way too much. They started to get the run figured out. Now they got to stop the pass and stop the sloppy bullshit.
I'm a closet Bills Mafia person. That is my dream. It is my dream to get up there. I don't care if it's the Bills versus, the Homesville Hornets.
You just want to party with the Mafia.
I want to immerse myself. So quick, when I was growing up, single parent household, my mom was a Bills fan. I was a Bills fan in the early 90s when they were successful. So was she. But I was like a rebellion stage, like anti-Bills. I'm going to go do my own thing. But a part of me, now that I've gotten older, it's like, wow, I'm more closely aligned with that, Buffalo area kind of mantra. You got to trust Josh Allen. When he is on the field, he makes up for mostly any deficiencies that are out there.
Is that dude?
He really is that dude out of Wyoming, and he has improved almost every year. Penix out there, he's second year. Now they have one of the best running backs in the league in Bijan Robinson? Do they have a top 10 wide receiver in Drake London? Yes. There's yeses across the board. Until Josh Allen proves me wrong, I will probably take him almost over anybody. I'll go Bills in a hey, we got to right the ship.
I can see it. I can see Josh coming out and just being the MVP that we know him for. But I gotta go with something here. Last game on the slate, doubleheader Monday. Bears at the Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to go Commanders also.
I didn't even hesitate on that one.
Jaden Daniels. Sorry, Chris, go ahead and I'll draw my
I want so badly for the Bears to actually be good. I really do. So much talent on that team. But like Tommy said before about the Jaguars, like I got to see their identity. I don't know who they are. I just don't trust them yet.
So with that game, Jaden Daniels is coming back. I believe it was a leg injury. I don't think they would risk him at this current point if he wasn't ready to go. I know they're down with Terry McCollum. He's out or banged up. They're doing more, I don't want to say a running back by committee with Bill or JCM, that's his, another name that he has out there. He had a great game last week, 2 touchdowns. Maybe I'm letting a little personal bias here without being so blunt about it with Caleb Williams. I think he's more of a possible diva or attention-seeking. He was at USC. He really didn't do anything here. I know the Bears really improved their offensive line. They do have some injuries, I believe, in their secondary. I don't want to say that they're better coached because I'm a fan of Ben Johnson with the Bears. I just think there's more experience with Jaden Daniels being back there, being a better quarterback, making better decisions. I just have never been a Caleb Williams fan, and maybe that'll come back and bite me someday. I'm going to take the Commanders, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, well, that's the end of the pick'ems for the week.
13-10, New York.
Yes, hey, thoughts real quick. Doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Pro or con?
Con.
Monday
Night Football was for one game.
I agree.
Stop making people choose which network to watch.
And it's so weird because if you look at the schedule, I think next week there's one and the following week there's 2 again. It's been like an every other week thing. We get 2 Monday night games.
Okay. Thoughts about this? All these international games starting at 9:30.
Hate it.
No,
why are we giving in a sport that only has an X amount of home games? Why are we giving up so many home games on the U.S. crowd?
See, I'm looking at it from a different standpoint. You have football from 9:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night at that point. You don't move from your couch.
Let me tell you this, though. When I was in Arizona a couple of years ago and I watched an overseas game, those games, like pregame, was starting off at like 5 in the morning. So not only are you getting used to the East Coast times because your body still needs to adjust. I was waking up around 3:30-ish in the morning in Arizona. I was sitting there, minding my own business. Next thing you know, it's pregame, and I'm having a beer at 5:15 in the morning Arizona time because I was sitting home at my brother's house. We're going to watch games in the morning. I don't know. I know there has to be revenue sharing to make it worthwhile for these teams to give up a home game. I don't see any of these teams ever giving up that home spot when they can make that revenue. So there has to be some extra revenue sharing.
Right.
I don't know how I don't mind it once in a while, but it seems like it's now like we're going to travel the world. So I don't necessarily love it. I like it once in a while. I'll give me a sprinkle, but
Right.
I think we're getting a little too knee deep here.
Yep.
But clearly,
100%.
it's working for the NFL because they would not be doing it as much as they're doing, and it's been increasing. It feels like every year. So it's their bottom line that matters.
Oh, looks like we're going to be going extra innings in the Dodgers game. 1-1, bottom 9, 1 out.
Wow.
And we'll roll that right into MLB playoffs, gentlemen. You know, it's been since the wild card round, before the wild card round ended, that we were on here. And we sprinkled a little bit in. Obviously, everybody knows that the Red Sox lost to the Yankees to a great game pitched by Cam Schittler. We'll go through this real quick. We're looking at the Dodgers Phillies right now. Dodgers being up 2-0 or 2-1 right now. This game's coming to a close. What do you got? You think the Phillies can come back in this?
Do I think or I want?
Do you think?
The answer is no.
But you want them to come back.
I do, even though it's not maybe the right answer for like that, that New York kind of Philly rivalry, like that local feel. I much rather it stay in Philly versus kind of reiterating, hey, you can have a $150 million luxury cap hit, which is more than 24 teams payroll in the league. I feel like MLB is going towards a lockout. They need to figure out this situation. I understand what the Dodgers are doing. They make tons of money in revenue. They have, sponsorships to the roof. They're taking advantage of what they have in front of them. I don't blame them. But when you have $150 million in luxury cap hit and it exceeds more than 20 teams total payroll, I think we have a problem.
Yep.
I'm not saying that the Brewers can't compete. They have probably $100 million payroll, maybe if that. You can't compete. I think they got to tighten it a little bit.
Yep, I 100% agree with
that. Comes from a New York guy who the Yankees historically, for years prior to the Dodgers, would spend more than anybody. I'm okay with tightening.
Third highest payroll this year.
Who's that?
The Yankees.
Is that because of the deferred dollars?
I don't. According to the stats, they were third or fourth highest.
I mean, they're definitely in the top 5 for no doubt, but it's the Mets have a ton of deferred dollars, and I'm not talking to Bobby Bonilla kind of stuff who they're going to pay until we're probably in a wheelchair. I'm okay with tightening things.
Yeah, I think it was Dodgers, Mets, Yankees were the top 3 this year.
Well, look at that. It's the 2 biggest markets. It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
The Red Sox could spend, but they've done it the right way. They developed an amazing crew of individuals.
Well, I don't often say this easy at all, but I like how the Red Sox are doing the locking up the kids' early contracts as well to avoid the overspending. Because I think Chris and I spoke about this briefly. I think that's the new way that things are going to go. They're going to start trying to lock these kids up earlier, so they're not doing all this deferred money contracts like the Otanis and the Trouts of the world, where you got the superstar that's making 40, 50 million a year. They're going to be pricing themselves out of the game.
That is a smart way to do it, and it reminds me of the Atlanta Braves, especially with the Ronald Acuna deal. I know he's been hurt from time to time. They were smart. I think they were. I don't want to say they were the first to do this and hey, we're going to lock up these young kids. I think it was also Ozzy that they locked up at a younger age. I think that's the way to do it. It's high risk, high reward.
Yep.
It's definitely high risk, high reward for those to do so. But that comes really down to, hey, you're scouting. What do you see? What is his floor?
What do you got here, Aaron? You think the Phillies are coming back?
If any team can come back, it would be the Phillies. I don't see them doing it. I would love for them to do it. But Game 5 in LA,
10. No,
Yeah.
Game 5 is in Philly.
It'd be in Philly still. They're not doing the 2-3, the 2-2-1.
It's 2-2-1. Philly was ahead of the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I digress. You go back into the bank with that crowd? That's possible.
That crowd, what I in all of sports, if you could think about like what city could make a difference in a game,
Phillies fans are ridiculous.
and that's well over New York. I know New York can be, rowdy and whatever. Philly will go to war with anybody.
They will. Have you been to the bank before, have you, Tommy?
I have been. It was
I
a
have not.
Dodgers. It was a Dodgers Phillies game bus trip. I was actually in the outfield, sitting maybe like 15 rows behind Manny Ramirez, and let me tell you, that guy got, heckled the entire time. And I'm not that type of guy who is going to talk that. Even in my lowest of low states, if you can kind of figure out what I'm getting at here, I don't really heckle. That's just not my thing. I will talk shit to my friends, but I will not be the person who, shouts things to bring people down to the lows of lows. I don't need that kind of attention. I never will. But being in Philly, I can't remember. I don't know if it was like a June game. It was warm. Fun experience, beautiful ballpark, absolutely beautiful ballpark. I couldn't have asked for a better day at a park.
Brutal fans.
But they will go toe to toe. Now, New York might want to take a knife to you, without a doubt. But New York's the first one to turn on you too.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Yep. No, I forgot that the Phillies had the better record than the Dodgers.
Yep.
So it's possible. I'm not saying it's not. I forgot about that home field advantage. I could see it if the Phillies, which blows my mind. This kid we're looking for him to be a starter, and now he's in the bullpen. Closing.
He's coming out for the 10th inning right now, pitching his second inning of the game. Unreal. I think the Dodgers lock it up here. Extra innings. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, we'll see.
Not
the Dodgers.
that I want the Dodgers. I don't want the Dodgers. Go home. I don't want it, but I think it's going to happen.
I want them to lose based on the sole fact of how they've manipulated the market.
Yes.
They won't be paying guys until 2045.
And that's what I don't understand. You're going to bankrupt the franchise for the next ownership group.
So from my understanding is, yes, you owe this money, but it has to be escrowed. With all the sponsorships and everything else in between, think about the amount of interest you're making. And, there's not a cap, but there's like a threshold before you get to the luxury tax. That's going to increase, and especially with the revenue dollars coming in. I got to feel like there are teams or sponsorships that, hey, we're going to flow you, whatever it might be, to get our logo in the outfield. And the TV dollars are only going up. It's back to the high risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm.
It may backfire, especially if the teams they lock out and say, hey, we can't do this anymore. It may backfire, but for right now, if they can get all the dollars they're getting from winning World Series or being in the postseason, I think there's an opportunity for them, but it's definitely high risk, high reward.
Let's move on to the Brewers versus the Cubs. Series is 2-1 Brewers right now. Game 4 should be starting here in a couple minutes. What you got, Tommy? What do you think about this series?
I don't know much about the Brewers outside of a few players here. It's just that small market team that everyone should love because they're doing it the right way. They've taken risk on players. They've traded away their closer to the Yankees. Got some young guys in there.
Yeah.
Baseball probably doesn't want the Brewers to win. It doesn't have that sex appeal. You're in a small market in Milwaukee. It doesn't have that feel because if the Brewers get the World Series, or let's say it's the Brewers and the Tigers, you're gonna get the loyal people to watch. Relatively smaller markets. Detroit's not bad, but it's not like the big boys. partial to the Cubs. I love, the Cubs just have this up and down franchise. They were bad for so long. I don't know enough about both teams. I feel like I've kind of not. I think I've disconnected a little bit with the National League this year. I haven't watched enough to really grasp. I would love to see the Cubs because I feel like they could just be a different story. If I had to guess, you know what? I'm going to go with my rookie card. Peter Armstrong Crow. Or is it Pete Crow Armstrong?
Crow Armstrong, PCA.
I don't know if he's good. Is he a difference maker? Kinda. Is he going to lead them to the promised land? Probably not. But there's a feel. Like if you just hear the Cubs in the World Series, it just has a feel. I just want to feel like if my Yankees are out of it, obviously, which they are, I want a story. Give me a story that's going to captivate me to lock in. And I know these media companies do a great job finding these stories. That's what they're best at. How can we make a story that makes us want to lock in? But for me personally, when does the Brewers' magic run end?
I don't think it does. I don't think it does right now.
Would I be mad? Would I be mad either way? No. I just want to give me a captivating story. If I sit down and say, "Hey, I just want a feel good thing or a whatever," give me something I can run with. But I'm gonna go Cubs, just because I feel like they've been trashed for so long. I know they had a World Series win, but just give me the Cubs.
There's a reason Milwaukee had the best record in majors.
Educate me, please. I would love to hear it.
There's also a reason why there's a stat out there that, what was it? Every team was below 500 that didn't hit a home run during a game for a win. If they didn't hit a home run, their record was below 500. But Milwaukee was only 2 games below 500 in that stat line. They're a team that's a small ball team, plays baseball the old way, bunting, moving runners, making contact, second most contact in all of baseball this year, behind the Blue Jays.
So, just complete opposite of what the Yankees would do.
Yeah, they're another small ball team, and I think that's something to keep going with. And I'm going to keep going with the Brewers.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They always say, what it's cold when it's colder, the ball does not fly.
Correct.
Right.
When it gets warmer out, that ball flies more. Conspiracy theory, maybe here, those balls are wound tighter at certain times in the season to get more eyes on the game.
100%.
Do you feel maybe now they're not as wound tight? They're going to try to. I don't know. Maybe you would think in the reverse. Hey, it's playoff time. People are watching. You want those balls to be flying all everywhere. But I just know historically, it seems when it's colder weather, especially when you're playing in New York, Milwaukee, Boston, the ball doesn't fly as well as it does obviously in June, July, August. That's when the small ball, because you're going to hit small ball, the ball's going to still go. It's going to get, a bloop single. It's going to get your doubles. But maybe that ball doesn't fly as well when it's, you're trying to hit 450, to dead away center.
It's kind of funny, if you look at the actual structure, the teams that are winning their series right now and everything, you've got the West Coast team and the Dodgers. Then you've got 3 dome teams all leading their games. Detroit plays in a dome. Milwaukee plays in a dome. Seattle.
Does Detroit play really? I don't think Detroit
plays. Detroit isn't winning their thing. Milwaukee's in a dome. Toronto's in a dome. Seattle's in a dome.
Okay.
Detroit's losing their series right now to Seattle. It's kind of an interesting setup going on here.
It really comes down to fundamental baseball.
Yeah.
Do the small things. It's not sexy.
No.
There's nothing sexy about a bloop single, the sacrifice bunt. the stolen base when you don't think it really matters, but like it's the weird small things. We are so accustomed to say we want the big mo, we want the Aaron Judge, 500-foot home run, off the foul pole. I know it was only 373 feet, but like I'm just saying we want the dramatic moments.
Small ball's a lost start, and it's a shame.
It is.
You have to have the perfect combo between small ball and the big time hits.
What do you think, Aaron? Who do you got to finish this series out?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
They're too good. They're too balanced of a team.
Yep.
Is that former Yankees rookie who we traded away for Devin Williams? Is he starting at second?
Caleb Durbin?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
That's going to burn a hole in my soul for a bit.
Well, we were talking
I don't know
about
what
this
his line is.
too.
I don't know what his line is.
There's so many ex-Yankees on all these teams. You got Gleyber Torres. You got Rob Refsnyder. You got all these teams, Yankees that have been traded away and are on different teams are in the playoffs right now.
Is Nestor Cortez still injured for the Brewers?
I don't know.
He's not on the Brewers.
I thought
He's not on the Brewers.
No, where did he go? They traded him, didn't they?
no, he was part of that Devin Williams deal.
And then they traded him at the deadline off to the Padres.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
So good reminder there. Rob Refsnyder, I always liked him. He didn't put the numbers up, but then he found his spot in Boston. I believe he was at Toronto before.
Yes.
Okay.
But he just seemed like he just always seems like he got out of New York. He got out of that cluster and never going to put up gaudy numbers, but he just does the right baseball thing.
Yep. He's a utility man. Through.
Interesting. I do believe he's a free agent this year, too.
If he's smart, he'll stay where he's at and just collect whatever check he can. And I don't know if he's going to be a difference maker. He might be just a really solid second baseman somewhere, but maybe staying out of the big markets is better for him.
Ooh. He went to Toronto, Tampa, Texas, and Minnesota.
He's your journeyman. There it is.
The Yankees have loved to also mess with Minnesota as well, for players. So
Sanchez.
All right, quickly. Detroit and Seattle tied 2-2. Game 5 tomorrow night.
And where is it?
Seattle.
That's why I was asking.
Oh.
I picked the Mariners way back in the day, beginning of the year, to win this thing, to win their division at the very least. I think that Seattle's going to move on to the World Series. I really do.
Black something. Once you go black, you never go back.
Turk Skubal. Turk Skubal starting game 5. Kind of needs to build a legacy here, but I just think Seattle's going to be too much.
Yep.
Who's starting for Seattle?
Who's starting for Seattle tomorrow?
I'll tell you. I'm pulling it up now. You got Skubal and Kirby.
Yep, Kirby.
Part of me wants the Tigers to win, and this is nothing more for a Gleyber Torres revenge tour. If you want to put a MVP for the World Series, you're looking for the story. Sometimes stories work out. If the Tigers make the World Series, I will put a very small bet on Gleyber Torres. There's something about being let go by the team who, thought you weren't any good anymore. But Skubal on the mound, if you had to pick a pitcher right now in the MLB, who do you want on the mound for that game 5, that magical moment?
Yep.
The Tigers, yes, I'm calling them the Tigers because they're young. They are young, and they have an opportunity to be good for a very long time. They were very bad for a long time. They lost 100 games plus for a long time. They have a massive minor league team.
Yeah.
This could be something. And they've shown in the past to spend money in free agency when it's available. You're talking to Miguel Cabreras. You're talking to Maglia Ordonez. You're talking about they had Scherzer. I mean, they had a stacked pitching staff. They're willing to spend. They're the team that they will be willing to spend money with this young talent.
Well, I will say this: watch tomorrow's game because I'm looking at the matchups here. The interesting thing for me is Jorge Polanco, the second baseman for the Mariners, has 3 at-bats against Tariq Skubal, 2 home runs.
Let me look at some. Well, they won't have the lines for maybe they will. I'm going to look something up real quick.
If I remember correctly, both of those home runs
were solo shots.
But they came in game 2.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
So, just to let you know, if you're bored and you want to make a couple bucks on Fanatics, Polanco is plus 660. Anytime home run was off, it's just one home run. And if you feel the Tigers are going to win, let's just throw that hypothetically. We're going to sit here, you guys will never invite me back on this again, but that's okay. I'm okay. Let's just take the Polanco home run and the Tigers win at minus 145. I know I correlate my life to this. Just talk for a second here. I'm just curious on what this would make Aaron happy. Because this is how I live life. You're talking at plus 1,500 here, and there's going to be profit boost tomorrow.
Ooh.
So you're looking at bare minimum like $5 would pay 75. So with that little bit of a boost, you might be talking $5 to win 100.
That's ridiculous.
So, I mean, just something like, it's 2 for 3 with 2 home runs.
Right.
Odds may say, hey, he may do it again, but hey, he said 2 home runs. Eventually, you got to come down to reality. But,
right.
$5 for $5 entertainment tax, which I always talk about, may give you something or another reason to watch the game.
17-13 now, Eagles. So, but I'm gonna say Seattle. I want to see Seattle. I think it could be a really interesting championship round with the Blue Jays versus Seattle. But we shall see. And now we'll get into the fun part, gentlemen. The Yankees go down to the Blue. Yankees go down to the Blue Jays. How are we feeling? What are you thinking?
My honest opinion, the Yankees didn't even deserve to be in the playoffs.
How much time do we have?
The way their bullpen is constructed, the shitty hitting, the small ball that's not there, the mismanagement, the fucking analytics bullshit. They did no business even being where they were. Just my opinion.
It's time for a change.
Thank you. Bye, Cashman.
It may not be pretty at first. We need different eyes, different opinions, different outlook. It's time for change. We've gone through this year after year after year. We are hammered with massive contracts. Cole coming back from Tommy John. We don't know how he's going to come back. We hope that, Tommy John's different than it was 20 years ago. We could be hopeful. We didn't pay Stanton, but we picked up that contract. We are all or nothing when it comes to hitting. We are hitting for the fence. We're taking advantage of the smaller dimensions that Yankee Stadium and the lines. We don't do the fundamental things well. Jazz Chisholm last time did error. I get errors happen.
Bad time for one.
They just happen so frequently. Maybe it's because we watch these games. I'm a New York guy. I'm going to watch these games, and it's the New York media. We're going to hear about it more. It's constant. It is constant of the same stuff over and again. When I knew when Max Fried, I believe game 1, was it versus Boston? He pitched a relatively good game. Maybe one run he gave up. I knew the second that bullpen came in, it's downhill. We have names in the bullpen. Is this like a resentment thing where, like, I believe the pitching coach is Matt Blake. Why is it that we get all these guys and it is constantly the same thing over and over again? Now, the AA team had a great year. I'm just going to go back to, the minor leagues. AA had a great team this year. But then they moved everybody to AAA, and we, as the Yankees, we hold on to our prospects as they are the creme of creme. Jabba Chamberlain was the name. Phil Hughes. Now, Jabba had a good time. He had a good little run, small run. Phil Hughes, he had a good stretch. But when they were the top of the top, I'm talking where they wouldn't even trade Phil Hughes for Johan Santana back in his prime. They would not move from him. We hold our top prospects as they are the creme of the top of the top. Like, and it's not even is top of our organization, but no, they're considering them the number 1, 2, 3, 4 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. We don't move on from them. We don't even consider them. And for the crazy people out there that think that we can move George Lombard and maybe Spencer Jones for Paul Skeens, you're absolutely insane. It's not going to happen. Because he's going to sit there in Pittsburgh for a couple of years. No team is going to, I would call it, not no team, no small market team is going to pick up on Paul Skeens knowing they're not going to be able to retain him. He's a $500 million pitcher guy, maybe $400 million. He's going to command a ton of money. Maybe I'm a little inflated with my price. He's going to command a ton of money.
I agree with your price. I agree with your price, but he's also one bad pitch away from Tommy John.
All young pitchers are, because you know what?
Just his delivery is so herky-jerky. I don't like it.
The key word I just said, and I'm going to go, I've been waiting for this. This is why I stayed on tonight. Not for anything else. This. Pitchers don't pitch. They throw. They are going for the Mike Tyson haymaker. Gone are the days or the Greg Maddux who's going to throw 91, 92.
Amen.
He's going to finesse. He's going to pitch a game. He's going to use his brain and what he can do with the ball to manipulate it. Yes, I know that's talking back in the day. And there are some pitchers who can do it. That is gone. The Yankees fundamentally are, how can we literally take Justin's 5-wood and swing it and pray that it hits the foul pole on the short porches here? And I know analytics are always going to be part of the game. What does a pitcher do when it's 75 degrees with X humidity at this time versus, there's all that, and that's going to be a part of the game. We need a fundamental change. We can't be just recycling, hey, we're going to bring in a couple, Ryan McMahon. We're going to bring in Paul Goldschmidt. There has to be a complete reset. And for the Yankees who have the money to spend, you're still going to win 80, 85 games. You're still going to be in the mix, but you can't do the same thing over and again. You're going to get the same result. And that's
Stop with the rinse and repeat. And I agree with you. Let's put it this way. If Brian Cashman wasn't dealt the organization that he was in and had the rosters given to him that he was given, you'd never know who Brian Cashman was.
No. He was very trusted by the Steinbrenner family. He's like essentially the stepchild of, or the favorite nephew of the Steinbrenner family. They're going to trust him through and through.
Yeah.
But eventually,
if the old man was still alive, he'd have been gone by now.
The old man, if he was still here, if Mr. Steinbrenner was still here, things would be dramatically different. And if it came down to signing a free agent and we got to spend an extra $10 million, he would figure it out.
Yep.
This is a money game. And baseball has become, it's a billionaire's game. Steve Cohen, he's a billionaire. He will spend recklessly whatever it takes to make his team successful. They weren't successful this year, but he's willing to spend. He's willing to put his money where his mouth is. The Yankees are a millionaire in a billionaire's game. And when you're in a market like that, you can't do that. And I've said, like, the Bronx is not appealing. I've been there, and just like many other people, it's not appealing. It's, you can be at other ballparks where you can go to a nice suburban community like Arizona. I'll give that example because I've been there. You can drive 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road, and you're in a beautiful area. You got to drive an hour outside of the Bronx to feel like you can raise a family. You can feel like comfortable, unless you're like Judge, who lives like downtown Manhattan.
Yeah,
That's not for everybody. I know, like Bryce Harper, he lives, I believe, in New Jersey, but like he's in a nice little small community. It's like you're stuck in the Bronx. Like it's not appealing, but all that media right there, good or bad, like, is it really worth it? And then we were talking about, like, well, I was talking about with somebody else earlier. Fire Aaron Boone. Who are you going to get to replace? Who wants to be a part of that cluster? It's just, it has to be a fundamental. It's gonna, if the Yankees want to get better, it has to get ugly first. It has to get uncomfortable.
yeah, I agree.
And if we stay with Boone, it is what it is. But it's going to be the years. Hey, we're going to win 85, 90 games, maybe 95, and we're going to swing like a driver. And then when it all works out, we made the World Series last year. Maybe it works out for a little bit, but when the bats go cold, and we get postseason ball, the ball doesn't fly as well. Teams kind of lock in a little bit more. It has to happen. I just don't know who could come in to change the organization. You can take a young manager, maybe little experience, versus maybe like a Bruce Bochy who's out there right now. Does he really want to go to the Bronx?
No, I don't think he could handle it.
No,
I don't think he could handle it.
So who do you take? And I commend Boone because he went into the Bronx. He went to the New York State media. It takes a special soul to deal with that attention. But who comes in who outside of Posada, like we mentioned earlier? Posada can probably handle it. He's been there. He knows it. But like, can he do the day-to-day managing? That's all my only question.
well, most catchers are the most intelligent players on the field, so
Joe Girardi.
they know the ins right. They know the ins and outs of the game. So if anybody can handle it, I think it'd be Jorge. He's a very intelligent baseball mind. I would love to see him jump into the analyst side of the booth and let him call some games and do some analytics during the shows. I mean, during the games, and see how he comes across. But you put any catcher in that seat, especially in New York, it'd be Jorge.
Yeah, there's been like Mike Matheny who came in. There's been tons of catchers. And I'm glad that you made that point about catchers. They've always seemed to have the best, ability to step into those roles and to understand the game from a different level. Because, the catcher's job is to manage the game. He's on the field. They're lining the defense, calling the pitches, understanding catchers are it. I feel like he's been disconnected, but that doesn't mean he couldn't come in. Immediately he'll grab respect. If Posada will say, "Hey, I'm going to come in with my old number. I'm going to be your manager," he will garner the respect.
I'm not going to say that this would ever happen. We're going to start with that, all right? But you know who's out there that would probably be a really good manager and could help the Yankees win? And Aaron knows exactly who I'm going to say. He's still in the game. He's still coaching. Great baseball mind. But it probably never happened. Jason Varitek.
Never.
No, not saying it had happened. I said that to begin with. But he is going to find a manager's job somewhere down this line, and he is going to put together one hell of a winning team. And going off the premise of catchers being managers, right? While he might have stepped into this, he manages the team so well, and they won the division this year, being down 10.5 games with 3 weeks to go. Stephen Vogt.
Yep. I can see that over, for New York standpoint, I could see him stepping in before Veritek is like, he'd be like your Boston fit. Like he just
Yeah.
screams.
And I get it.
I could see him in Tampa first. I just can't see him going to New York.
I'm not even saying he would accept a job in New York, but he would be a name that's out there this year that teams could be looking at.
New York Giants 20, Philadelphia Eagles 17.
Let me ask
Oh my
you.
God.
Let me ask you guys this: one of the top prospects for the Yankees is Spencer Jones. Very similar build. Very similar build to Aaron Jones. I mean, yeah. God, Jesus Christ. Aaron
Twin
Judge.
Towers, Aaron Judge, yep.
Do you sell him at his peak because he destroyed baseball in AA and AAA? His batting average was very high at AAA, but then it did dip down. He's back down to the 275 range. Do you take – he's also like on that same trajectory age-wise, slow to get up to the big leagues, just like Aaron Judge, where I don't think, if he hits 500 home runs, all right, that's an accomplishment for sure, but he's not going to be in the the top echelon of home run hitters because he started so late. Do the Yankees take a gamble and let's say we're going to trade Spencer Jones for that pop? Like, does he stick around?
If I'm a GM, I'm not trading for that dude until he's got some service time and proves to me he can hit in the big leagues.
He's already 25.
Right.
So
24.
Yankees are mismanaging these kids. Bring them up.
They've always had.
Yep.
They've
This
always
is a
had.
great segue, right? Who is a player that you guys think the Yankees should be going after this year?
JT
And who
Realmuto.
Who? Okay, that's a free agent. Who would you trade for? That could help your
Trade?
team right now. Yeah.
Any fucking starting pitcher that you can find.
And see, I
They
disagree
don't have.
with
They
you
don't
there.
have the farm system. I mean, unfortunately, they don't. So JT would be a good option to, because Austin Wells is. You pitch him low,
Trash.
it's not good.
It's trash.
JT isn't he like 34?
JT Realmuto is going to be 35 to start next year.
Yeah, so it's 34. What does that bring you into? A DH.
It gives
So-
you 3 years. It gives you a couple years with a catcher to kind of build someone in your farm or trade for a prospect that maybe JT can mentor, bring along, whatever it's going to be. I don't see them signing Realmuto to a 5-year deal.
No.
If he asks for that, I don't sign him at all. You
You're
give him
right
a couple
back.
of years. Give him 3
You're
years.
rotating between Judge and the DH for the occasional rest. He does have that shoulder arm injury. You have Stanton who's locked in. You think he's going to retire or he's going to disappear? No, he's going to collect that massive. I don't blame him. He's going to collect that check.
Yep.
You are screwed to that Stanton deal. Now, did he have a relatively okay season? His sprint down the bases
It's terrible.
is difficult to watch. And that's coming from a 300-pound guy. You're stuck with him. There's nothing you could do with that. Their only cop out to Stanton is when he had the elbow injuries that he had to retire because there was no chance. They're truly stuck.
So I did some brainstorming, and I'm not a Yankee fan. We all know this. Some brainstorming
You're a
on
Blue Jays guy.
what the Yankees could do to help their team this coming season.
Burn it down.
And if they could package somebody like a Spencer Jones and a Clark Schmidt with a couple other prospects and try to land Wilson Contreras and Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals, that changes that whole landscape of the Yankees and give them the veterans. They have the starters they need to keep going next year, which the Yankees could roll into that season with the best starting 5 in all of baseball with Cole, Heel, Rodon, Schittler, and who am I missing?
Fried.
Oh, and Fried. Best starting 5 of all baseball.
Oh, I'm going
No
to say
doubt.
this. I misspoke before because we don't need starting pitchers. We need a
No.
bullpen. Now, the weird part about the bullpen right now is, as good as Devin Williams is at the end of the season, he's a free agent.
Yep.
So that experiment could be over, and he could hightail it back to Milwaukee and get back on that roster 5 minutes from now. I'm sure they'd take him back with open arms. The bullpen is where we need to. We're struggling, and third base for sure, but we need a shortstop too.
Devin Williams' value is so down, or the Yankees could probably get him on a 1-year deal, prove it deal, we'll call it.
Yeah, show me. Yep.
But does he want to be there?
I don't think so.
Some people aren't just built for that kind of. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but some people are not built for that kind of atmosphere.
The lights are brighter.
But if he goes anywhere, it might be a 1-year deal because he has to show that he can bring back that breaking pitch again that devastated some teams when he was with Milwaukee. What the Yankees need to do is they have to take some risk. They have Lombard there, who's probably 2 years away from coming up. You got to sell that sexy name to a team, maybe for a proven that. Nolan Arenado, great. He came from the Rockies. He went to the Cards. Great glove, great bat. He's past his time. We had this opportunity in the offseason to get him, and for whatever reason, we decided it wasn't the chance. Probably because the Cards wanted too much for him. The Cards were in a rebuilding era, and they probably wanted too much for the Yankees tasting. I feel like that's 1 year past.
The Yankees were on his no trade clause. And he would not let it go. He said no to it.
I think money would talk, or you could figure maybe there's something that could be figured out. It's not the deal for right now. I mean, personally, if he showed up in March, hey, he's a Yankee, I'm gonna nod my head that we got a consummate pro, just like Goldschmidt.
Right.
That's his prime, but you know what he's gonna bring to the table. He may not get you those 30 home runs anymore. But you know that glove is going to be there. He's going to be the pro in the clubhouse with Judge. It's just the Yankees, they hold on their prospects way too long. They value them to a level just like some of these guys. Again, I work in I was an intern for the Binghamton Mets. I saw a lot of guys come up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was an intern for about 5 months. I was there on the field every day. I could tell you stories about how I were fixing computers for some of the Mets minor league guys because they found out I knew how to work on computers. Shout out to their marriages that are still, probably working out. I had to hide some things, but I got a really taste of minor league baseball. Just like Jabo's good, but like you got to find what the value is. And from a starter to a reliever who's going to throw 103 miles per hour or whatever it was. Too bad the bugs got to him when he was with the when they were going against the at the time the Cleveland Indians. It has to. I go for hours.
No. So you take that trade off the table, right? And I don't see the Yankees going after somebody like Pete Alonso. There's just no spot for him on the team. You're still trying to get Ben Rice first base time. So how about a name like Rhys Hoskins coming in to be your platoon at first base?
You're going right back to that DH. I feel like you're going to get stuck with this rotation of DH. I feel like you need to have someone who's your everyday first baseman. Now, I believe Rhys can also play left field.
Yes.
So the Yankees historically love versatility. Who doesn't like versatility? I don't know if they just want to get them locked in or they have to rotate between Judge, Stanton, and whoever else at first.
Just leave Ben Rice there. Call it a day.
Don't move him. Don't make him a specialty.
I think you ride or die with Ben Rice and you figure it out later.
How about this? Do the Yankees counter Soto from last year and sign Edwin Diaz for the bullpen?
Then you got still have 7 closers out there. The balance is off. You need some middle of the game pitchers.
But you don't have a bullpen after this year. You're losing it all.
That's okay.
That's okay. Start over. But you still have You're still going to have Bednar.
See, I think you should jump at someone like Edwin Diaz.
You can, but then you still have to. Then if you do that, you need to have a middle relievers and a setup guy.
I
need to
think
get
your
back to that
setup guy would
formula.
be Bednar. Move
But see,
Diaz to
that's-
your closer.
But that's where we had issues this year when you think
Devin Williams.
Luke Weaver is going to move to a setup guy after you anointed him the closer. Now you got Bednar as your closer. Well, we're bringing in Diaz, so you're not going to close anymore. It's mental. Pitching is mental.
But you only have Bednar for this year, where you can lock Diaz in for a few more years to come.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying it's going to fuck Bednar up.
Does Diaz want to come to the Yankees knowing he may not have that locked role? And also, are the Yankees going to be the type of team who are going to hover around the luxury tax number? Like, obviously, the Dodgers don't care. The Yankees were pretty firm, like, hey, this is our number. We're going to mess with these. We're going to stay within here. We don't want to pay exuberant amount of extra money to the tax. We are in this middle era where we're like, we're going to spend, but we're not going to spend a lot. We're not going to go to, we're not going to cripple ourselves. I just feel like the Yankees are not willing to spend. If the old man, as Mr. Steinbrenner was there, I feel like the Yankees would make some decisions for the betterment of the team and not the betterment of the wallet.
Where was I?
Bases loaded for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 11th.
Yeah, with 2 outs.
I
get what you're saying, but you're talking about a team that's on luxury tax right now at $315 million. They're already over.
No, 100% they're over. They're not Dodgers over. They're not Mets over.
Yeah, they're not going to try to go crazy amounts over.
You're 19 under the Mets. That's it.
I can't argue that.
I mean, I'm looking at the numbers right now. I mean, the Phillies are 2 million under you. It's not like they're far off. Now, no one's close to the Dodgers. They're almost 400 million into the luxury tax projection.
They're in a different stratosphere.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're 19 million under the Mets. You're not far off of them. You're one contract.
The Stanton deal.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, too. Is that Stanton deal. Cashman did Jeter a solid.
Real quick about this football game, it's 20-17.5. I haven't looked at the box score too much. Cam Scatterbo tied it anytime touchdown, probably like plus 150. Hurts was probably even money because that's how it is. Dallas Goedert scored. This game's at 37 total points. That's a lot of points for a first half game on a Monday Night Football. Usually you seem like 10 points or less. This is a high scoring affair.
Yep.
This is a big, even if the Giants still win, this is a game for the Giants. Like, hey, we can mess around for a little bit. Again, I said earlier, frisky and fun.
Yeah, we talked so far a lot about, the Eagles and how they've won games. None of their games have been pretty that they've won this year. They've had to scrap and fight. That defense is terrible on the
It's all about how you finish. That's all this is. It's just like baseball. You can start out really poor. It's all about how you finish. You just have to get there. And unfortunately for some teams, they wait till the last second to finish well. The Eagles will be in it. Well coached, good quarterback, solid weapons, young defense. As long as they can stay healthy. Clearly, if Saquon goes down with an injury, or obviously the quarterback goes down with an injury because he is a mobile quarterback, they're going to be in it. But it says something for the Giants that their rookie running back, who looks like Mike Allstott back in the day.
Oh, God, yeah. 100%.
Dodgers win.
Dodgers won. Yep.
It was on a fielding error by the pitcher. What a way to lose a series.
Aaron, back to fundamental baseball.
Yep.
Yeah.
The small things that count. Getting the ground balls, just doing the right little small things. And sure, if you want to have the pop in the bat, the small little things that still matter. It's the sexy things that don't come up in the stat sheet. It's the shortstop for the Blue Jays who's on the Guardians when they made their run.
Yeah.
Chris, help me out here.
Andres Jimenez.
Yes.
Jimenez, yeah.
There's nothing in the box score that says yes, he is it. He's that guy. But he made a really spectacular play, I believe, last night in the game.
Ernie Clement. Where the fuck did he come from in this series?
Postseason, they shine bright, man.
Yeah.
It's how you make your money, though, because everyone's watching now. No one, unless you're degenerates like us who follow the sport like we do, you're not going to see these small things. But now everybody's watching. This is where you make your money. But
I am halfway to $400 right now on my bets for tonight. So,
Chris, I do my parlays. I know this has been going on forever. Tell me, like, you obviously bet. So tell me, how do you see things?
I bet yards normally.
All right.
I do a lot on individuals and yards, especially in a game like this. I took Jackson Dart for 150 plus yards, passing and rushing, and he's already at 165.
What book do you use?
I use FanDuel.
Okay.
But even people like Cam Scattaboo, I bet on rushing and receiving, and Saquon Barkley, I bet 100 yards on running and receiving. Those dual threat running backs provide you more points. I mean, I just need an A.J. Brown touchdown, another, 24 yards from Barkley, 1 yard from Hurts, 9 yards from Tyrone Tracy. That's going to be the hard one for me. And I need 1 yard from Devontae Smith for $400.
So A.J. Brown, after that meeting they had, 5 receptions on 6 yards for 73 yards.
Yep.
He's getting the rock. Yep. I don't know what your unit size is. I always go with the $5 pizza bet things. That's what I'm comfortable at.
I do 10 because I'm an even numbers kind of person.
Which is completely okay. I'm, scared money makes no money. I'm more entertainment tax, where if, what's the difference between $5 and $10? It's not going to make or break you.
Exactly.
If you're betting $5 or $10, if you're scared, you shouldn't be doing it.
Shouldn't be in it.
But I'm here for the entertainment. Like, I want to sit down. I want to cringe inside that I could win 5 for like 300.
I got 2 bets tonight. One's $1,300 to win. The other one's $400. The $1,300 one is a free win, or it was a free play. It was one of those boosts, the no sweat token I got. So I got to bet $10 on just playing a parlay, and if I lose, I get my $10 back.
Well, which is fine. You know what? You can be out doing a lot worse in the world by but you're sitting in your house. It's much cheaper than anything else. And what? You sweat it out for 3 hours, and it's so worth compared to being out doing whatever you can possibly think of.
I could be at the bar drinking right now, wasting that $300.
But no, that $10 bet, that's 2 drinks, or you can go out and grab a mixed sandwich somewhere. Like, it's all about entertainment. Just sitting down and trying to sweat it out. Do I get upset? Sure, absolutely, I get upset. But you know what? I'm sitting home. I'm not doing any harm to anybody. But I wish I wouldn't bet. I'm not no guru. I listen to a lot of stuff, and I hope that I hit 1 or twice a year where I make more money than I bet. And then when I hit, I act like a wizard.
I do a lot of the stats analysis. So I'll jump on my computer here and I'll see where defenses rank against the run, the pass, who's playing, who's not, and shit like that. And I'll make bets based on, all right, well, ETN has a better chance of running for 100 yards this week because he's taking on the 29th ranked defense. And I'll try to educationally make decisions to make a better bet.
Just always remember, and I'm sure you're aware, Vegas is 5 steps ahead of us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I make one bet a week that's anywhere from 600 to $900,000 for the win. It's
Yeah.
a stupid bet. It's a $10 bet, but it's like 15 to 20 touchdown scores I try to guess. And it's just for pure fun.
You're better off doing that from home, having your good time.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than a scratch off.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm fortunate enough, I don't bet all year. I bet during football and I walk away afterwards.
Baseball is one of the hardest sports to bet.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's impossible.
Hockey is actually fun to bet, but I'm betting blind. I love betting hockey. When hockey starts up, I love it. I couldn't. There's not like, because I don't watch a lot of hockey. It's just like betting soccer, the over and unders.
Yeah.
Betting hockey, especially the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, I will sit there. And I know somebody who works there who's a little connected with the team, and so I get a little insight. You can bet on the Penguins on FanDuel.
Oh, no shit.
So you can sit there. You can go to the game for like $15. Have your great time, and you can put a Penguins bet out there. But hockey is it's so fun to watch and so much fun to bet. But I'm betting blind because I don't understand anything.
Right.
The puck goes into the net.
But all right, you ready to close us out here, Aaron? We're at 146.
Yeah, Aaron's getting tired.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No. It has nothing to do with you guys. I'm still trying to get my stamina back up. I've long days after surgery. I'm exhausted. So I got nothing else left over.
No.
Guys, real quick plug on our Facebook page. Justin's daughter is raising money for a trip that she's going on. There is a link to order some popcorn on there. So if you want to go in there, check out Phoebe's store, order something quick. It's not very expensive. Just go ahead and show her some support. She's got a goal of $350, and I think she's already raised $100 today. So let's get her over that $350 threshold.
Aaron, real quick, in regards to that, shout out to my girl Phoebes. I've been around since she's been little nugget here. Maybe you reach out to Justin if there's a donation I can make instead of buying popcorn. I'm not a big popcorn guy, but I would love to help Phoebe,
Okay.
make her dreams come true. I mean, I can message Justin myself, but
just hit him up and see what you can do. Absolutely. So, all right, cool. We will be live again this coming Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay.
Yes.
Got back on that schedule. It'll be me, Justin, and Chris, or just me and Chris, however it works out. It shakes out, but that's what we're going to be doing from here on out. Chris, you got anything else for us?
I got nothing.
Tommy, as always, thank you for hanging out with us. We enjoy your company.
Thank you very much, Tommy.
You're a good dude, man.
hey, I really appreciate, again, outside of my comfort zone, but I hope to come back later in the season sometime and just talk, sports and just good, bad, and indifferent. Just, have fun.
Yeah, we'll get you back in here. Don't worry.
Definitely around the winter meetings time. Get you right back in here in the beginning of December, but maybe before that too.
True story.
Talk some
That's my
off-season
favorite
baseball.
time
And
of
what
year.
could be, yep.
All right.
So-
Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you again on Sunday. Until next time,
Later.
later.